We also are starting to train emergency workers for, like it's just the training isn't really available for police officers, firefighters, emergency workers when they do interact with people on the autism spectrum. So we have a curriculum and we have infographics and we have, we travel and we speak to that community as well. And I'm trying to think of what else. There's so many things. We're in the midst of creating educational modules with the help of Dr. Temple Grandin.
Hi, it's Tiffany Lorraine Galloway, certified high performance coach with another episode of the Resilient Mother podcast. Again, I have my partner in crime, Catherine Tyson Swell, with me today. And we also have Gina Mitchell, and we're going to talk about resilient strength with the subject of autism, which is a take. We've had a few experts on here before, but we're going to dive deeper for moms who face this challenge or this opportunity, depending how you decide to look at it. Thank you, Catherine, for being here with me on this adventure and joining me. Gina, thank you for joining us as our guest. Please tell us more about you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on today. So like you said, my name is Gina Mitchell, and I'm president of Autism Rocks and Rolls Corporation. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit out of Indiana, central southern Indiana. My story starts with really my son, Sam. He was diagnosed with autism when he was 4, and today he's 22. So, he's had autism his whole life, and autism has been a part of our life for many, many years. Kind of where really Autism Rocks and Rolls Corporation kind of came about. Obviously with autism, there are challenges, but I love it that you said, or opportunities, because that's truly what we believe, is autism can really pose itself as being an opportunity and actually an ability. But when Sam was in high school, he had some pretty dark days. He had a really hard time fitting in and was having a hard time communicating. And he joined his high school's media club and loved it, and came home and said, "Mom, I'm going to start a podcast." And I was like, well, I don't know what that is, but I had a pretty non-traditional parenting style. I was like, if nobody's bleeding and, Sam's not being disrespectful, then I rarely shot him down, with his ideas and his creativity. So he started his podcast, and we thought, well, this is going to be a great hobby, but it exploded. He got behind a microphone and just started talking about having autism, and then he became kind of an entrepreneur with it. And then we saw an opportunity to start a 501c3 not-for-profit to kind of push the mission that we'd always wanted to. And it kind of started with me thinking about the millions of times that when Sam was growing up, that people said, "Oh, he has autism, I'm really sorry." And I never really understood that, because we were never sorry. We were never sorry for Sam and his thinking capabilities and the village that helped raise him. We not only loved Sam, but we accepted Sam for who he was, no matter what. And so the nonprofit came along, and it has just grown so much. Sam is now an international motivational speaker. So he's traveled out of the country to speak. He is a senior in college, lives away from home. He just made the dean's list yesterday. Awesome. We got that in the mail, so that was really exciting. So yeah, I was just over the moon. He has great GPA. He works really, really hard. For the nonprofit, he's our executive director. So he does that, and he has a corporate board of 6 people. And he really runs his podcast still, and I run the nonprofit side of it. Trying to think of what else. We have so many irons in the fire. On top of all of that, I am a teacher. I'm an educator. That's my first job. And then my second job is president of the corporation. But our main mission for Autism Rocks and Rolls Corporation is just really to destigmatize autism and to show people and to showcase the success stories of people like Sam, and just help the world understand that it's truly those people that think differently and outside of the box. They're the people that are changing the world. And I think we forget that sometimes. So that's really what we're trying to do through our nonprofit.
I love that perspective, because I think the superpower today is a couple of different things. One is being grateful. And I think the other one is being willing to be curious. And it sounds like you were willing to be curious. You were willing to find solutions. You were willing to turn struggle into opportunity and make weaknesses strengths. And not everyone sees that. But that's what the Resilient Mother podcast is about. And we love to have your perspective on this, because there's surely someone else that's out there that is like you, but they're a couple of years before who you are now. They've just discovered they have a child with autism. They're not sure what to think. They're not sure what to expect. And to hear your story is truly inspirational and allows them to know that really it's going to be their choice how they show up as a mom and their choice on what might be possible. So thank you for sharing that. And with that, I'm curious what resilience means to you and how you would define it, knowing your journey now that you've shared with us.
Well, I mean, for us, and just the word resilience, the first thing I think of is to get through it, to get through whatever is happening, the negative and the positive. And so when Sam and I have spoken, we have a part of our speech, because I speak with him. You know, he's like the man, he's the star. But we have started to speak together, and we're just a really good team. And, you know, we keep getting invited back to places, as, you know, we've done some keynotes, and I mean, it's working. So, but one thing that we say in our speech is whatever is happening, you can't solve anything until you get to the other side. So if there is a 5-hour meltdown happening, that's not fun. That's not fun for anybody, especially for the, you know, person on the autism spectrum. It's, you know, I used to think if I'm losing my mind when he would have a meltdown, he has to really be losing his mind, because he didn't want to do that. And so in order to not to fix him, because he doesn't need to be fixed, but to help the issue that was going on, I finally just realized we just have to get to the other side, because that 5-hour meltdown is not going to last for the rest of our lives. It just isn't. And there might be some aftermath things, but until I realized that, it was so hard, and I just wanted to crawl under a rock. I mean, I'm human, and I haven't won Mother of the Year award every second. Are you like, I always think, if you don't lose your stuff and become psychotic, are you really a mom? Like, are you really, like, if that has never happened, then, but I've always joked and said that, but I think that's what resilience is you got to get through it, no matter what, the negative and the positive.
I love that. I love the fact that, you know, you were faced with something that you weren't expecting. And, you know, because we all have our dreams of what being a parent is going to look like and what our children are going to look like. And then you're faced with this challenge. And what I love about it is that you took the challenge and you rolled with it. And that's so important, because, you know, resistance is the biggest problem, right? And so how you get out on the other side is by being resilient and having that strength to say, you know what, there's nothing wrong with my child. He just does things differently. So how do I work along with his difference? And I don't have to fix him, but I'm going to work with him. And I think that that's amazing, because that's just a testimony, right? For when we're faced with something, how do we rock with it? And he sounds to me like he's just incredible. And he is a great example for anyone who is facing any challenges in their life. How do you overcome those challenges? And he sounds very fortunate to have been placed in this world through you, Gina. And so, you know, I'm very proud of you for that. And you should feel proud of you for that. And Sam and you are really a force in this world. And to just be the voice of that, because, you know, there's stigma attached to so many things, especially autism in this day and age. So it's just incredible. And I think, yeah, absolutely, you roll with it. And how do you get to the other side?
I would love if you could bring us more into the world of autism, because I don't fully understand it. I do have a younger sister who we believe now has it, but we found out she had it a little too late to really get her the help that she needed. So this moment, this meltdown, like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't even know what that means exactly. Could you bring us into some of these symptoms, or I don't know if symptoms is the right word, but like the things that you deal with on a daily basis that we may not be aware of or not understand, that are part of your story and part of your journey, to normalize it for someone else, but also to make another parent who's got autism feel heard and that they're not alone.
And I think definitely there's very different elements of it as well. I think that Gina will be able to attest to that it all doesn't look the same, right? So
there's different for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was going to say too. One thing I will say though, really quickly, is the parents that are listening, it's really, really easy to get caught up in the moment of, woe is me, my child has autism, like especially people that get a newly diagnosed, like a new diagnosis. I was there. My whole future seemed dark. It wasn't what I signed up for. And, I did everything right. I read to Sam when he was in the womb. I did everything. I exercised, I took care of myself. And it was just kind of a slap in the face. Like, I can't believe this has happened to me. But what I want to say is, you can't stay there very long, because if you're concentrating on the things that go wrong, then you're going to miss all of the beautiful things that happen, because we're going to be stuck there. So that is really, really important to our nonprofit, is to step back and, see that beauty. But as far as autism goes, it truly is a brain wiring thing. It isn't a disease. It isn't, it's just, it's literally the neurons in Sam's brain, and anybody that has autism are just wired differently. And then we even kind of step back from using the word different, because, and this isn't anything that anybody is doing wrong per se, but sometimes, like, when I see the shirts that say it's okay to be different, I know that the people that are putting those shirts out, I know that their heart is in the right place. And so I don't try to complain too loudly, but part of me wants to say, different than what? If you still are saying my son's different, then you are still ostracizing him, and you are still putting him in a box and compartmentalizing him that he is different. And I don't know what that means, because I'm different than you, and Sam is different than you, and we are all different than everybody else. So
yes.
I just sometimes I just think, yeah, but when we say, yeah. But on the flip side of that, when we say, like, I just want Sam to be Sam. I don't care that he's different. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's different than every person in the world. So, but I did like too how you said,
it's very similar to the saying, "Define normal." What's normal? Like,
yeah, we hate that word.
And I've had some clients too, as a social worker, where that they announce that the child has autism, and I've always said, why, you don't need to do that. They'll announce it. Oh, he's autistic. Oh, he's just almost as a warning to everyone. And I said, no, that's definitely, it's a stereotype. It's stigmatizing him. Like, no one needs to know what, you feel the need to say this because you are almost excusing his behavior right now. Like, I just need you guys to know, and you just need to be okay with who he is, period. And the world will catch up with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's it. You set the stage, you set the pace, and the world will catch up. You don't need to excuse him. You don't need to find excuses, because I felt it, well, I'll hear them say that right away. And some of them don't even have a diagnosis. So it's very interesting. And I think that what I love that you just said, Gina, is that you felt bad. You felt that you had done, like, why is this happening to you? And, you read to him while he was in the womb. But what you said that I loved was, you can't stay there very long. I love that, because it's true. In anything that we find ourselves in, any type of adversity that we would call, anything that we face, any challenge, anything that's not the way that we thought it should be, we got to move on quick. We can't stay there very long. And I have a saying that I call it, I limit my wallowing time. So I'm going to wallow for a minute. Just give me a minute to wallow, but I'm going to limit it. And then when I'm done, I'm not going back in that mess. So I love that. I love that you can't stay there very long. And that's exactly what you do. You get up, you brush yourself off and say, all right, let's move on, and not stigmatize it, because I think that is a huge issue. And you're right. When someone does make an announcement about somebody being different, it's like, okay, can you watch out for this behavior? And it's already, now I got to be watching out for something. Can Sam just be Sam? I love that. And that's the world that we need to live in, because we are all different. Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. And I get it from both sides as a mom of a special needs adult, child now, but then I also teach middle school, 8th grade, and they are brutal. They are relentless when it comes to that. And so I see it, from a societal point of view, but then also when I teach my students, they're not very open to differences, and it's taught to them through their home life, through TV, through their social media.
Absolutely.
It's self-image. It's just, they just can't escape it, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. Is Sam your only child?
He is.
Okay.
He is. Yeah. We and I'm okay talking about it. It's not it's just part of life sometimes. But my husband and I, which is Sam's dad, we wanted more children, but just medically I had issues, and it wasn't possible. So that's kind of a story within itself, because I felt cheated and robbed there too sometimes, because I thought I wanted more children, but you can't be stuck there. So you have to move on and be very thankful for that I got Sam,
Absolutely.
Out of all the kids in the world, he's mine. And I just can't believe it some days that I got him.
And look at the lives that you're touching now, like the ability that your one child, I love to emphasize this. One person can make a huge difference in the world. One person's story, one authentic person stepping into uniquely who they are can make a huge difference. And that would be your child, autism or not, mental illness or not, struggle or not. You are the mother. You set the ground for that. And look what you've done, Gina. Resilient mother, I'd give you the badge or medal that comes with that if I had one. So
sometimes I feel like I need it, but then other times I'm like, oh yeah, that was a bad decision. I need a do-over, or but I do have to say, I have to give credit where credit is due. I've worked my tail off. I will never forget when Sam moved out, and I was so scared. He lives an hour from home, in a dorm, and he'll be graduating in May. And I just remember driving him, my husband couldn't even go. My husband, they said their goodbyes here at home, and I hope I don't get emotional. But they, my husband, I was like, I'll take him. It'll be easier. And so, I just remember pulling into when I dropped him off, pulling into a gas station, 2 or 3 blocks down, and I could not leave the town. And I thought, crazy thoughts went through my mind. I'll just get a hotel. I'll just go to hotel tonight. Or he has a couch in his dorm. Yeah. I'll just sleep there. And went through this whole thing. And I remember my dad, I called my dad because my husband works weird. He's an electrician and he works weird hours. So I couldn't call him because he was either at work or asleep. I can't remember, but I called my dad. And my dad said, Gina, he said, because my dad and my mom and his other grandparents were very integral in like helping raise him. Like he has a village. And I remember my dad said, we have worked for this for 21 years. Like, this is what we've worked for. And I know it's hard, but this is why we worked so hard. And so when he put it to me that way, I was like, okay, like we spent 21 years like, okay, come on, Sam, come on, you can do this. You can do this. And then when he's doing it, it's like, never mind. I don't want you to do this anymore. Like it was such a hard thing, but that's normal too.
It's the blessing and the curse of being a parent, of being a mother, you know, and raising them to be on their own and being scared to death that the world's not going to take care of them. The world's going to knock them around and I can protect them. So, you know, but just think about when you got that diagnosis and where you are right now. Because at that moment when you got that diagnosis and all the stuff that you went through, you would have never in your mind imagined that you would have been this far and Sam would have been this far and he would have been this amazing and you'd be doing these amazing things. So isn't God good? That is just incredible. And that's just, you know, for anyone who's struggling with that right now, who's faced with that right now, just to know that, you know what, on the other side, there's victory.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
I will say this.
And there's victory.
No, you're 100% right. I will say this too. And this is something that Sam and I say a lot is, you know, when we speak and we travel and, you know, Sam is such a force. I mean, he really is. And he's, I know that other parents, when they meet him and they have children that are on the autism spectrum, you know, Sam's goal isn't to make a bunch of money. I mean, that's not with the nonprofit, like he does get paid. And I'm okay to say that because he works his tail off. But on the other side of that, when he goes to bed at night, it's more of who did I help today? And so I know that when we go, parents are, you know, just, he gives them hope. And I know that, but I've had so many parents say to me, how did you do that? How did Sam, like, how did you get Sam where he is? And I hope that one day that my son can be like Sam. And my response is through a lot of hard work and losing our ever-loving mind sometimes. But on the flip side of that, your child doesn't need to be Sam. Your child needs to be who they are and whatever they're doing. Because I didn't want Sam to be, what was it Sam said the other day? He is starting to get paid more whenever he travels. And so just because he's getting more exposure and he's really, really good at it. But I said something like, we're really good friends with Dr. Temple Grandin. She's working on some projects with us. And so she's a huge autism advocate who also travels and speaks. And I said something to Sam in the car. I said, Sam, you can charge more than that. I said, Temple, you know, charges however much money. And he looked at me and he was like, Mom, I'm not Temple. He said, wow. I don't want to be Temple. He said, so I'll charge what I want to charge. So
a little child shall lead them.
You got me. So
and that purity that doesn't even exist in this world so much, isn't that amazing? Like how proud as a mom, you know, what a proud moment that is for a mom, just to know that, you know, you've raised this child in this world of so much mess and he still could say that, you know, it's not about the money for me. That's amazing. That's incredible. Yeah. You know, he's not only just an example to people with autism, but an example to all of us.
Yeah. Right. When we authentically embrace who we are and we own it and we relish it and go, I'm unique. I am me. There's no one else in the world like me. I think that's so important. And for a mom that's out there, your child chose you. God gave you that child for a reason.
Yes.
And And don't doubt that for a minute. Don't doubt it for a minute that you don't have everything that you need to raise this child. You do.
Yes.
You just gotta believe in yourself. And when the times are hard, ask God to help with the rest.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And he's always there.
Mhm.
He's always there. So, Gina, how can people connect with you, with Sam? A website? You have anything in brewing? Any books? Any type of things going on? I know he has the podcast. Let our audience know where they can connect with you guys. This is just incredible.
Yeah, I will say, I'll give you all of our socials and all of that stuff. A couple of things. So we just launched our brand new website. We've had 2 or 3 versions of it over the last 4 years, I think. But this one's it. This one is beautiful. We love it. So if you go to www.autismrocksandrolls.com, you can see our new website and you can see everything that we do. We have so many irons in the fire. We do have a book that is in a publisher's hands. And we're waiting on that. I have a podcast as well. It's called It's Okay. Nobody lives a life where every day is okay. And that is a spinoff of Autism Rocks and Rolls from a parent's point of view. So that's available on our website as well.
Repeat that.
It's called It's Okay. Yes, it's okay. Nobody lives a life where every day is okay. That's what mine's called. And so that's a spinoff directly from Sam's. I kind of like follow what he's doing. And then we also are starting to train emergency workers for, like it's just the training isn't really available for police officers, firefighters, emergency workers when they do interact with people on the autism spectrum. So we have a curriculum and we have infographics and we have, we travel and we speak to that community as well. And I'm trying to think of what else. There's so many things. We're in the midst of creating educational modules with the help of Dr. Temple Grandin. So she's kind of on board with that. And then you can find us everywhere, all socials, Autism Rocks and Rolls, and then all podcasting platforms. Sam's, mine's fairly new. I don't have the following Sam has, but mine is kind of to help Sam. So we're everywhere. Just if you look it up, there's Sam's face. So
I love that you're
and
that's so cool.
Yes, for sure. I'm on the website now. It looks amazing. So I'm going to be clicking on that, and it's autismrocksandrolls.com, and the podcast is on there. I guess you can just click on it, so that'll be cool. I think, like I said, that's an inspiration for all of us, not just anyone with autism, but Gina, you can't stay there very long. I love that. I love the fact that you showed up as Sam's mom and you raised him just like anybody else. You raised him just like you gave him the chance of anyone else. It was not in some space where, people would feel sorry for him. You kind of got out of that feeling sorry for yourself, arena. And that's resilient strength. That absolutely is. And it's the epitome of it. So yeah, we love that. And we probably should have Sam on at some point, Tiffany, to talk about his mom.
Yeah, it looks like he would bring you on.
He has been. He was. I finally was like, "Hey, get out! It's my interview," because he has interviewed. Oh my gosh, we counted the other day because he always, posts them on his website. But I think to date, he has been interviewed on a podcast, and then he's been on. I feel like I brag about him all the time, but he's been on local news, national news. He's been in magazines, and I have all of them. Like I have a whole stack and have them all over my walls. And but he, I think we counted. He has been interviewed 1,300 times on podcast. And I'm like, oh my, Sam, is this real? Like, did you really? And it is. He puts them all on the website. So he's moving mountains. I mean, he truly is. He's breaking down a lot of barriers.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Well, moms, there you go. Anything's possible with your love for your child. And here's a story that just proves that. So trust your love. We believe in you, believe in yourself. God bless. Please reach out if you want to continue this conversation. Go to that website if you want this resource for you or just some inspiration, because this is definitely that. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Resilient Mother podcast.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to subscribe so we can share this message. We are a worldwide podcast with guests all around the world, and we want to continue to grow this community. You can find us on socials. You could also be a guest. Look for that link below if you'd be interested in being a guest on the podcast. If you know a sponsor or would like to be a sponsor, please reach out to me or Catherine as well.
Sure. We want you all on this journey. We want to hear your stories. We want to share your stories. We want to gain strength from each other because together we're stronger. And to never forget the blessing of being a mother and what we're creating. We're creating the future every single day of our lives. So get on this train with us and let's do this thing, moms.
I believe in you. Believe in yourself. God bless. And we'll see you around. Take care.